Hello, hello, hello. I hope uh, I hope everyone can hear me okay. In the live chat, just post if you are able to hear me okay, so that we can get started. We are excited to have one more round of data analytics Q&A. And I have my
Yes.
friend Hemanand Vadivel, who is our data analytics manager working in a company in Europe, and you might have seen him before as well. So we both are going to ask any questions that you have on data analytics career, data science career. This is basically ask us anything kind of session. So folks, let's start posting your questions. So Dheeraj, Trishant, Arvind, Anand, Ibrahim, Mustaq, Matu, these are all initial few like people who are posting. All right. So let's start taking this question. Trisant, I have asked this question a few days back. Yes, what is the question? I don't remember. Data analytics startup. Okay. So folks, let's start posting your exact question with details so that we can help you better. Hey, Farhan from Indonesia. Hi, Farhan. Hope you're doing well. Vikas, Humaira, Matu, Raktim. Okay, Raktim asked this question. I had done the basic preparation for data analytics, Python, Power BI, and 3 projects, HR dashboard, personal finance, Achieve and certificate. I have none seeking Achieve and cert. I have none seeking. Folks, can you be clear in your question? Because I'm not understanding what is the exact question. Are you asking, okay, seeking an internship, but I understand you are seeking an internship, but what is the question? Okay, Ibrahim Khan is asking, how do I open a data analytics startup? I know the... Okay, this is a very interesting question.
Interesting question.
So Ibrahim, I think for data analytics startup, it's a very vague question, to be honest. There are a lot of things you can do. The adoption of data analytics is increasing in the world day by day. So there are a lot of things you can do. If you're talking about data analytics startup, you can start building BI dashboards. If you go to upwork.com or fiverr.com, you will see a lot of freelancing projects that they post where they will pay you some money for building dashboards. So maybe you can just start from that point, start giving dashboard building as a service. And that will be like a data analytics service startup. But then if you have any other indigenous idea to solve any industry use case, you can think about it. There is a website called producthunt.com. So that website is very good. So producthunt.com gives you idea on a lot of like products which are being built in the industry. You can conduct surveys like Stack Overflow. You can get opinion from the people. So do some market research, whatever your idea you have, post it on producthunt.com. I'll post the website name here. Post it on producthunt.com. Try to get opinion from other folks and try to understand the market. Try to understand the product market fit. There is something called a product market fit that you need to understand. And let me show you one book that can be useful. So folks, this book, if you want to do any startup, this book is very good. The Lean Startup. It tells you how you can start your company in a lean way without burning so many resources. Hemanand, you can also start taking questions.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the next question from Vikas Kumar. So he's asking, is it necessary to have dashboard knowledge for data analytics or simple Python is enough? I think for data analytics, you need more than Python for sure. Just with Python, you cannot do the data analytics. So let's see what is data analytics at first place. Data analytics is a process where where you get all this data, the historical data, and provide insights to the business. so that they can make some data informed decision, and they can beat the competition, or they can increase their sales or increase their profit, and all the business objectives they can achieve with their own data. And that's the entire process. Is the entire application is the data analytics. So yes, you need dashboarding skill for that, and it is perhaps one of the important skills for you to be successful in data analytics.
Anand is asking 12 years experience in IT, working as an assistant manager in digital channels. How can I use my 2 years experience to change my career in data science? So cybersecurity domain and experience is actually very valuable nowadays. You know, when in the world where there are so many hacks happening, things like that.
Yeah.
So maybe you can do data analytics in cybersecurity domain itself. So as you're working in cybersecurity, obviously you will have some data set, correct? So on that data set, you can start simple and start building Power BI dashboards that can give you answers of like basic questions that you might have. So I think that will be a good starting point. And in terms of skill set, you need to learn SQL, Power BI or Tableau, Python. These three things are super important. So these, you can just start learning these three.
Yeah. So I agree with that. Yes.
Sohail is asking, should I do job 2 to 3 years before PhD or direct PhD? So PhD is a very interesting thing. It depends on which university you're doing PhD from, what is your thesis, etc. But I believe if you do, see, there is no clear answer. If you do few years of job, then you have a good understanding of the industry, and that will help you with your PhD. But what will happen is, let's say you did your bachelor's and then your master's. Now you're doing job for 2 to 3 years, okay? And you're married, you now probably have kids, and now you have this financial responsibility. So some people, they do a job and they do PhD on the side. But if you work, basically the answer is, if you work for a few years, then you do PhD, you need to think about your own individual social situation, like your financial dependency, things like that. So keep that factor in mind. But if someone asks me, I will do job for a few years so that you have some industry knowledge.
Yeah. Great. There's one more question, very interesting question. Python versus VBA. Which one should we go for? Definitely Python. VBA is dead, my friend. VBA is gone. No need to learn VBA. So if you have learned VBA before, don't think it's waste of time, because certain concepts, the way you get the data, get the automation done in VBA, it's kind of useful for you to do that in Python. But you don't have to learn VBA now if you have given a choice. Go directly for Python. And another question from Prashant Matre. So he's saying have 10 years of experience in telecom, fiber optics, and microwaves, and he wants to switch to data analytics. So this is a very common question. I've seen other few questions as well. So everybody is saying that they have X years of experience in the Y field and they want to move to data analytics now. I think the answer is quite common. So you can always use your expertise in data analytics. So data analytics is not a standalone field. It's combined together with business. It requires a domain knowledge. So if you're in the telecom and fiber optics field, that is a domain. So in the domain, you also need data analytics. So that is a field you need to move to. This applies for chemical engineering as well. So if you are in the pharma industry, that also requires certain level of data analysis. So you have the domain knowledge in the pharma industry, and then you can move to that particular field. And myself, I was in the mechanical engineering, and then I moved to supply chain, and then I became a supply chain data analyst. So supply chain was my domain knowledge, and then I became a supply chain data analyst, and then I learned other fields, other data analytics fields. So that's pretty much the answer. And you always need to look what is a tangible skill that you have in your current line of domain, and that you can transfer to data analytics. That's the first place you need to search. And in most cases, you might get data from your domain itself. Right? Try to take the data and apply it and learn data analytics from that.
And folks, in our Discord server, we have added a channel for career transition. So anyone has any questions on career transition, you can post your question in our Discord server. The name of the channel is, let me show you. So the name of the channel is Discord. Where is it? Hold on. Let me show you. So I hope you can see my screen. So I have posted a link of that channel in the live, and I will add it in a video description. But see, this is our Discord server, right? There we have this career transition, and people are asking questions, and I mean, I'm trying my best to answer them. We are also doing a closed Zoom session. So if you are interested, you go to this channel and there is a link of this Google form. So you just fill the Google form, and we are going to do close Zoom session. So me, Hemanand, and couple of you will be on the Zoom session and will individually answer your questions live. So if you want to participate in that session, this is a Google form that you can fill out. And I've posted Google form link in the live as well. All right. Is it required to do Preeti Srivastava? Is it required to do Power BI Tableau for a data scientist? Maybe not. See, data scientists and data analyst roles are, some companies you will see people are working actually as a data analyst, but their title will be data scientist. So if that is the case, then yes, you are required to know Power BI Tableau. But there are, I mean, so see, data sciences and data scientists and data analysts careers are overlapping to some extent. So if you have the knowledge of those BI tools is well and good, but not absolutely required. But yes, if you are pursuing data analyst career dream, then it is, I would say, a must. Shreyas Sridharan, I'm a freelance sports data analyst. I'm currently using tools such as Tableau, Python, Google Data Studio. Can I use my sports portfolio as an application to other domains of data analysis? Of course, you can. Because although it's a sports domain, the problem solving skill, some data visualization techniques, the math and statistical concepts that you're using can be transferred over to different domains. So obviously the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Drone Sarma, I have 6 years of experience in service engineer, learning SQL, how to apply for data analyst post. So Drone, just by SQL knowledge, see, there are some data analyst job where all they do is they use SQL as a main skill, and they generate some kind of report, and they do ad hoc SQL analysis. So if there is such a job, you can apply. But if you want to increase your probability of you getting an interview call, I would suggest you learn at least one BI tool, Tableau or Power BI, and a little bit of Python. See, Python is something is very easy, folks. Python programming, some people are scared. If you learn Python, like it's something a high school student can learn it easily. It is so easy. So I would say just give it a try. I think you can learn Python, at least basic skill, in a month or two. So at least on your resume, you're showing, although you're not an expert, you're saying you have some basic Python knowledge. There are some data analyst interviews where they ask basic questions on Python and pandas. So let's say they will give you some Excel file or CSV file. They'll say, okay, load this in pandas and do some basic analysis where you are removing NAs, you are doing some basic, descriptive analytics, plotting distribution, min max, creating a new column, derived column based on the raw columns that you have available. These are the skills anyone can learn easily. It's so easy, trust me. So my channel has Python tutorial playlist, also pandas playlist. My website codebasics.io also has Python course. If you do that, it's going to increase your chances of getting interview calls. So I would say SQL alone might not be enough, especially since you have 6 years of experience in a different domain, right? The job market is kind of competitive. There are so many computer science graduates applying as for jobs as well. And usually as an employer, if I have 100 applications, I have to filter, I will use some criteria. So then they use this degree criteria that, okay, computer science keep, other application reject. Okay.
Yeah. So I get this question from Manchala Ganesh. Is asking, I'm assistant professor in mathematics and my age is 42. Shall I transform to data science? Yes, definitely. So in fact, we are we are coming up with some video series where we will bring people who have transitioned from a similar position like you, and we will share the learning journey with you. This is definitely possible. Many people have done that, and we will definitely bring that to share with everyone.
And since you're in from education background, if you're working in some university, maybe what you can do is you have some university data, right? Like student data, their marks, their subjects. Try to build a basic Power BI dashboard for the university data that you have. Talk to some management team in your university who has access to this data and just say, I'm interested in data analytics. I know Power BI a little bit. I can help build some data analytics dashboard for free in my free time. That will be the first stepping stone to transition to that career.
Yeah. And Panchadan Padi is asking this question, roadmap for data scientists for mechanical engineering. I think you can definitely do a roadmap for all the non-IT backgrounds, be it mechanical engineering or chemical engineering. We can definitely come up with one, and you can watch out in our channel for that.
Yes, but I have a general roadmap that is applicable to anyone. So in YouTube, if you do code basic data science roadmap, I have mentioned all the free resources. So if you follow that video, it will be applicable to you. But definitely in the future, we'll come up with something special for people with a different background.
Yeah. Sign-up case asking which domain has big value in data science. This answer can vary from person to person. Based on my experience and observation, it's going to be the finance tech. Fintech is the next big thing, and finance has a lot of money, so it's
and yeah, finance has a lot of money, guys. I know that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Abhishek Pandey is asking, he has completed 6 months of internship as a data analyst, 1 year certification in data science, but yet I'm not getting calls in last 4 months. What should I do? So 6 months of data analyst internship, 1 year of certification. So certification, folks, nowadays, if you look at resume, right, we also get a lot of resumes for our company at like everyone has certificates. So certificates on paper, it doesn't guarantee you an interview call. Your resume, first of all, needs to be solid. So if you go to YouTube and search Code Basics Resume Guidance, me and Hemanand did a video just last month. We have a couple of videos, but look at the video which is latest. We have done thorough analysis on resumes. We have also provided some sample resume templates. That was for data analysts, but for data scientists, also same resume template you can use. I would suggest first thing, Abhishek, you do is follow one of those templates and make your resume solid. Because that resume is, if you're not getting a call, most likely there is something to your resume. Okay. And the second thing is the resume content, which is having solid project portfolios. So I hope you have some real projects. You don't have things like, okay, Titanic data set, some general data set you got from internet and you did analysis. Try to have some solid projects on your resume. And that will help you. Another thing is, of course, LinkedIn networking, participating in conferences, participating in Kaggle. There are a lot of videos that we have posted on this topic on our channel.
Yeah. Hopeful ask. Hopeful, I like the name, Hopeful. So he or she asks, like, so can BSc Statistics students become data scientists or data analysts in good product-based companies? Definitely, why not? If you have a statistics background, you can use a significant amount of that in your data analytics, data science roles, and you can become. So basically, for everyone who are in the chat and or looking into the show, anyone can become data analyst or data scientist irrespective of the background. So the background, currently background is something being considered, but I think it's not for the future. In future, people won't really look into the backgrounds, which background they are coming from. They just try to look into the accomplishments that you have made. What you know. They might, the hiring managers might look into your portfolios, your GitHub, and all those things, your LinkedIn profile, and based on the activities that you have done there, based on the knowledge that you have shared there, that's how you might get hired. Its background can become irrelevant after a certain point.
I was interacting with few folks who are data analysts in a company called Nielsen IQ. Nielsen IQ is based in, I think, Bangalore, Vadodara, Gujarat as well. And I interacted with 2 or 3 people, and they were all statistics majors. They had statistics bachelor's or master's, and they become data analysts or data scientists in Nielsen IQ. So if you're in data, if you have statistics background, actually your job chance is even higher.
Yeah. Another question by Anish Kumar: is automation coming for data analysts in the future? It's not in the future; it's already in present. So everything we do in data analytics is kind of an automation. I will give you one example, Anish. Think about this, right? So the way you're setting up a data pipeline, right? That itself is an automation, right? Otherwise, you would do ad hoc analysis. You would go to the database every time you write SQL code, and when people ask some questions, you try to do all this merge, join, all those things and provide an answer. That is ad hoc analysis. So when you move from ad hoc analysis to data analytics, where you set up the data pipeline, where you set up the dashboard, you run refreshes, automatic refreshes, all of that stuff. That's automation already.
And also in Power BI, when you import these tables, it tries to establish the relationship, right, on its own,
yes,
based on the field name. I know it's kind of dumb, but it is sort of an automation. Otherwise, you'd be doing that manually.
Yeah.
So automation is coming, but many people get scared that, okay, is that gonna take data analyst job away? No, it will not. See, you will evolve. As computers evolve, as a human, you also evolve. So if you have this spirit of student forever, then you're golden. As computers evolve, you're kind of always one step ahead. So if the question is asked in that context, I would say, don't worry. Prakash Karki is asking a very good question, and I get this question many times, folks. Where do I get sample data set? So sample data set for data science problems, there are many websites. I have a video also on my channel where there is, of course, Kaggle, you get a lot of data sets. You get so many data sets from, I think Quandl, on Quandl, you get financial data set, but Quandl was acquired by S&P 500. Let me just check quickly. So Quandl, yeah. See, Quandl is now NASDAQ data link. So NASDAQ data link, that is another resource. The US Census Bureau has a lot of data sets. So there are a lot of websites, but when it comes to data analyst type of problems, there is a scarcity of available data set. And we are trying to fulfill that gap to an extent. If you go to YouTube, search for Code Basics Sales Insight Project, you will find a nice SQL dump of very good data set that is used in consumer goods industry. We will be doing more such projects, and we as a Code Basics will be helping you come up with more data sets in the future.
Yeah. Okay.
Deepika is asking, is data analyst pre-qualified for data scientist? Answer is yes. Vikas Kumar, will it be beneficial for us to do PhD in data analysis if someone is working as a data scientist? PhD in data analytics and you are already working as a data scientist. So what is your career goal? I don't quite understand this question. You're working as a data scientist. You can just keep on upskilling yourself by working on the real projects in the industry. People do PhD if they want to go in a research role. Let's say you want to join some big product-based company and go become like a research scientist. There is a research data scientist role. If you want to do something like that, then doing PhD makes sense.
you would address this question? I think it's quite common from Abhinav. Can a person with 6 to 7 years of career gap enter into data science field and become data analyst?
Yes. So 6 to 7 years career gap, I get so many people asking this question, and it is possible. It is definitely possible to do that thing. Because remember in our Power BI data analytics course, Hemanand, we did this session. So for our Power BI data analytics course, we did a closed Zoom session with all the students. And I think there was one person, remember, who did business for 6-7 years.
Yeah.
Now he's learning data analytics.
Yeah.
So there are actually people who are like you, who are already learning it. And in terms of getting job also, you can get a job. Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing you can do is join our Discord server, and there is a partner and group finder chat. So try to post this question there. Maybe you'll get some friends who are in the same situation. Maybe you can make a group with such friends and learn together.
Yeah, I want to address this question at a very high level. So all this question is coming from the fact that there is a competition, right? So when you're applying for a job, there is a competition along for the same application. And in order to beat the competition, you need to prove something to the hiring manager to hire you. That is very simple. Like now you have 6 to 7 years of gap. So that's something, that's a gap. That's a gap. Even though we say it's changing, the trend is changing, it's still a gap. So to compensate that, you must have something in your resume to kind of beat the competition with the rest of your peers. So you need to think about what that could be. So let's say if I'm coming from let's say I've set up a gym. I'm a fitness person. I've set up a gym. Now I want to become a data analyst. So I might use some of the skills that I have got from my fitness center. Probably I would have really good customer handling skills, people management skills, or people handling skills. So that's something I would highlight. Probably a fresher who might have completed a master's in data science might not have that skill. So you have an advantage there. So always think about the skills that you can highlight and put it in your resume or in your interview so that you can beat the competition. And in order to do that, you need to first understand what kind of skills you need. So I think we have made a lot of videos on that in the channel itself, like what kind of data analyst skills are required and data science skills are required. And when it comes to skills, again, I want to talk at a very top high level. Focus on the timeless skills. Always don't focus on the skills that have an expiry date. For example, if you learn Python, it might have an expiry date. But learn programming, the programming concepts, that is timeless. If you focus to understand how to write an email for a particular person, that's that will expire with the time. But if you develop a skill to handle people communication skills, managing people's expectations, these are timeless skills. So focus on the timeless skills rather, for that particular task.
We are just discussing about this timeless skill this morning. Like some colleges, they have clubs, student clubs, they invite us for expert talk. And we had some bad experience recently where we were invited and some person just did not follow up. He was just wasting so much of our time and did not follow up professionally. So see, this comes to very basic English email communication. You don't know basic principles of email communication. You don't know how to value other person's time. You don't know how to follow up on time, manage other person's expectation. Then doesn't matter. Even if you're Power BI expert, you're going to fail. So learn those timeless skills, and those skills will help you. Doesn't matter what your field is. Could be data analytics, could be something else. Pancham Pandey is asking, can we go into data science field without certification on basis of knowledge? Panchanan, yes, you can. As I said, certificates are very easy to get, right? You do some $10 course on some e-learning website, you get a certificate. So having certificates is not considered to be very valuable. Your knowledge, your extra achievements that you have, those carry weight. I interviewed one mechanical engineer on my YouTube channel. He got a good rank in Kaggle. Just based on that, he got a job as a machine learning engineer directly after finishing his mechanical engineering degree. So just think about this: 4 years mechanical engineering, directly he got a job as a data scientist. And some companies were kind of hunting him because he has such a good rank on Kaggle. So if you have these extracurricular achievements, Kaggle rank, you're participating in open source, you're participating even in Discord. Like we have Code Basics Discord server, and we recently hired some data analyst interns based on the contribution that these people were doing on Discord. Because when you do contribution, you're showing your knowledge, your community skills, your English skills, and those will be detected by people who are hiring.
Yeah. And I think the other commonly repeating question is like how much amount of X skill or how much amount of Python or how much amount of SQL I need to become a data analyst. What is your take on that?
So I would say just basic. As a data analyst, Python, you need basic. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need data structure algorithm. People ask me this question. You, as a data analyst, you don't need to know data structure and algorithm. Some basic knowledge of dictionary, list, which you will get once you learn basic Python. SQL also basic queries. There are some SQL jobs where they use complicated queries where, okay, they ask for like subqueries, CTAs, window function, those kind of advanced skills, but that is dependent on job. So you focus on basic SQL skills, basic Python skills, and basic BI tool skills. And then it's really your approach, your problem solving mindset. I talk about this tool skill versus core skills all the time. So that core skills are very, very important. And since we talked about SQL, by the way, we are building a very good, high quality premium SQL course. We have started putting together plan for it. It may take few months, 2 or 3 months before the course is out. But in this course, we are going to cover from basics to advanced, such as, in advanced, we'll cover CTEs, Windows functions, stored procedures. We'll also cover, we will cover a lot of things, so that course, you will find it very useful. But till then, if you want to practice SQL, see, I will point you I will point you to free resources. So let me share my screen and let me point. So if you go to YouTube, first of all, you will find a lot of good quality SQL tutorials. There is one from Coding from Mosh. That is very good. 7 million views, right? Do that. You will learn SQL very easily. SQL is not a rocket science. It's very easy to learn. Another very good resource I want to point you to is called sqlbolt.com. So let me just show you. So here on this sqlbolt.com, you can practice. You can learn SQL. You can practice. Okay. You can practice your SQL queries. Then you can go to the next session. Things like that. I think there is another website called sqlpractice.com probably. SQL practice. Let me show you. I think W3 Schools is very good. If you do W3 Schools, right, they have SQL tutorial and you can just practice your SQL queries and skills from here. All right, we can move on to the next question now.
Okay, I see this question from Ajinkya. It's quite repeated now. He's asking, do we teach Jupyter Notebook data analytics in our course? I don't think we use Jupyter Notebook there. No, Ajinkya, the answer is no.
Yeah, we don't. So our data analytics course is all about Power BI. First of all, Power BI and data analytics general skills. We have not covered Jupyter Notebook, but guess what? Jupyter Notebook, I have very good videos, so many views on YouTube. You can learn. Jupyter is again not a rocket science. It's like kids play. You can learn it easily. If you're talking about pandas, then it's different. See, Jupyter Notebook is just a shell. It's like IDE, not complete IDE, but interactive Python command prompt. It's like kids play. Any small kid can learn it in like 2 days. If you're talking about Python and Pandas, again, Pandas, I have a playlist which has accumulated, I think, millions of views combinedly. So just follow that and you will be good. We might, on codebasic.io, I'm thinking I might come up with some NumPy and Pandas and some EDA course as well in the future. That is in my plan.
Okay. I think this is a very interesting question from Praveen PA. So he's saying, as you said, everyone can learn data science. How can I differentiate myself from the rest and stay in the industry for longer time? This is a really good question. And I think this is what we have been talking, often these days. So I mean, I can go first, and maybe you can add something. So Praveen, what you need to do is, like, you don't need to think about the reason why you are doing this work, right? It's for solving a problem. So always think yourself as a problem solver. That's number one. So if you're a problem solver, you will learn any tool that is required to solve the problem, and you will talk to any people, any person that is required to solve the problem, and you will change your mode of communication that is required to solve the problem, right? But if you think yourself like a data scientist, or if you think yourself like a Python developer or a Power BI developer, you will focus on working on Power BI. You might learn all the nuances in Power BI, Python, SQL, but you might not solve the problem. That might not be required to solve the problem. But if you focus on just solving the problem, you will do whatever it takes to solve the problem, right? For example, let me tell you one good example. I know really expert Power BI developer. That person can do anything in Power BI. But when it comes to talking to the business stakeholders, he cannot speak to business stakeholders in a way they can understand, right? And this, what happens is that when they communicate, he is not able to understand the requirements well, and he is not able to solve the problem. Let's compare this expert Power BI developer with an average Power BI developer who can do stuff in Power BI, who can use Google and just get the stuff done in Power BI, but he can communicate really well with the business stakeholders. And he can understand the problem, and he can also provide a solution to the problem. So now you understand who will stay in the industry for a longer time, or who will have more power in the industry, or who will enjoy more, have more fun in the industry. So that's the thing you need to focus. You always need to focus on the problem solving skills. When you just focus on the problem solving, it will include everything that you need, communication, whatnot.
And since he mentioned problem solving skills, I don't know if you guys are following me on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I recently posted this picture. You might have seen this movie, 300, right? Sparta. So Spartan has only 300 soldiers, which are equal to 100,000 soldiers that the Persian army has. And when Leonidas is marching towards the battlefield, he meets another ally army where soldiers are average. And when he asks, like, what is your profession? These soldiers say, oh, I am a carpenter, I am a farmer. So it is like that. People say, oh, I am a Tableau expert. I know how to do paginated report in Power BI. Big deal. I don't care. I don't care if you have skills of how to do XYZ in some tool Y. You can learn it online. You just Google it. It's a 2-minute thing. What is needed is problem solving skills. So when Leonidas turns around and when he says, Spartans, what is your profession? He would say just one thing, who? It's like, we are born to fight. We are soldiers. Doesn't matter. You give us a sword or a spear or some hathoda, whatever. We know how to fight. They don't care about tool. Folks, I keep on saying this multiple times, but based on the questions that I am constantly getting, it's so weird that people are only focusing on tool skills. See, I had made this diagram also, that there are core skills and tool skills. So unless you build these core skills, which are timeless principles, these skills will not go away. 30 years later, this skill will be still valid. The surrounding skills are tool skill, which will update, right? Like I used to do coding in C++, now Python, tomorrow different language. So unless you change your mindset and really focus on the problem solving skills and the core skills, it's not going to help you. I was having discussion with my brother a few days back, and we are hiring people in Atlic, right, which is our software and data company. And we were saying, if we get a person who only knows how to communicate well, we'll hire you. Right? You send me your resume and you only know how to communicate. We don't care Power BI, screw it. I don't care any technical skills. If you know how to communicate well, we'll hire you. And there is a big scarcity. See, it's weird. So many people are looking for a job. And as an employer, I'm facing this dilemma right now. There is a scarcity of people who are really good in communication. And when I say communication, I don't mean you need to have good English grammar, English skill. English skills is needed, of course. But there are ways like how do you say things in a compact way? How do you manage expectation? How do you manage people's ego? There are a lot of these soft skills. So while you are still learning Power BI data science, spend some time in building soft skills. And I will suggest you a very good book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. This is one book that will help you for your lifetime. I have suggested this book many times, but I don't know how many of you have read it. This is the first book you should read. Put aside all your Python tutorials, everything. Read this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and practice it. People just set a goal that, okay, in 1 month, I want to read the book. No, read 5 pages, then practice it. Practice it in your real life at least 2 or 3 days. Then only read next 5 pages. Just do this and wait. You need to have patience, first of all. The magic is not going to happen in like 2 months.
Yeah, I think there is a follow-up question to this. Maybe we can address this as well. How to develop the problem-solving skills? And they say most people don't explain the problem; they just give the requirement and how to work in such conditions. See, I have a way of solving the problem. Like when I think I solve a problem, I don't believe myself. I normally check with the business users. I talk with them. I share an open dialogue with them to understand if their problem is really solved. So that's very important. You take feedback from them. In some cases, you might not have access to the business users. So you need to get to the closest access point as possible and take feedback if the solution that you deployed is really working or not. So if the solution is not working, let's say it's not working, right? And you kind of try to understand your approach. You can do an approach postmortem or project postmortem, understand, break down your approach into multiple pieces. And for each piece, you think which worked and which did not work. For example, you might have not communicated or you might have not dealt with one particular department well. You can take that as a learning and see how you can do that better. And this is an iterative process. You can't do this in one go. You can't solve a problem in one go. You always learn from the areas where you did not solve it so well, and then try to do it better next time. So this is a continuous learning loop, and you will never become 100% perfect. This is learning loop for everyone. So you keep learning, you keep taking the best practices from your learning, and then apply it again. That's how it works.
And in problem solving, one of the raw skill you need is critical thinking. So when business is giving you requirement, often they're not perfect. So you need to question. They might be wrong. They're humans, right? It's not like you joined as an intern and they have 10 years of experience, hence they are correct. You have to always ask counter questions, meaningful questions. Try to think like an end user. If possible, interact with the end user who is building an application, correct? Let's say you build all this application in your day-to-day life, WhatsApp, Zomato, do this thinking experiment that, okay, what 5 new features I can add in this app and why would I add it, right? Try to build a pitch deck around it. Try to discuss it with your friends. And this way you can build a critical thinking. And if you're looking for a structured learning for critical thinking, there is a good free, I think this course is free. This is on LinkedIn Learning. So in the Google, just say, LinkedIn Learning critical thinking course. I think this course, I have not done it, but I think my brother did it and he liked it. So this course, it explains what is critical thinking, how do you ask questions, things like that. All right, so Do this course if
Yeah.
you get a chance.
Okay, and there is this question from John Cena. We almost didn't see you. Please make a podcast of financial analyst who uses skills like SQL, BI, Excel, Tableau. Definitely, yeah, that's a good idea. I think we have one. I think we have one idea that we have one person in contact with whom we can do this podcast. And can I become a financial analyst by doing only CFA as I'm an engineering engineer? Yes, you can. By doing CFA, you gain the domain knowledge, but you would need some tools. Like maybe you can start with Excel for that.
Definitely, we'll do that podcast. That's a good suggestion. Thank you for that suggestion. Okay. I'm having Shiva Kumar. I'm having 6 years of experience in US healthcare. Started your Power BI course. After completion of data analyst course, can I get a job in data analyst as a fresher or experience as per my current role experience? 100%. See, for data analyst and data scientist role, the domain knowledge is super important. You already have 6 years of domain knowledge in healthcare. Now go to LinkedIn or any other job portal, search for healthcare data analyst or healthcare data scientist job. You'll find many jobs. You build a solid resume. In our Power BI course, we have given some ideas on how you can put that course as a project on your resume. So add that project on your resume with your own customization. So it's not like a blind copy. And try to build network with data analysts who are working in healthcare industry. So again, go to LinkedIn, search for healthcare data analysts. You'll find a lot of people. Send them connection requests. If possible, have a Zoom call with them, phone call with them. Try to understand what they do. Okay. Try to get their advice on how you can prepare for this. But Shiva, I'm seeing a very high chance. It will take maybe some time, right? 6 months, maybe a year, but you have a very high chance of getting a data analyst job in healthcare industry.
Okay. I think I can address this one. What is the role of Power BI in data analytics? So Power BI is not going to stay just as a visualization tool. It will become an enterprise BI tool. When I say enterprise business intelligence tool, it will be used organization wide. It will be something that is going to be deployed organization wide, and they are massively expanding on the data engineering side as well. So if you are following Power BI updates, you know they have introduced a new feature called Data Mart, and they already have something called data flows. These are nothing but inbuilt data pipelines within Power BI, and and what they're trying to do. They are becoming like an end-to-end solution for businesses. So they are trying to cover the steps before the visualization, which is the data engineering side, and after visualization, which is the deployment side, embedding into the business users. They're also covering that. So recently they launched a feature in which you can integrate a live Power BI dashboard to PowerPoint, right? So they are addressing both the ends and trying to make it an enterprise-wide end-to-end BI solution. That's the role of Power BI. That will be the role of Power BI. And Microsoft has a perfect, let's say, environment to do this. And they, probably you might have heard about Power Platform, Microsoft Power Platform, in which you can have other. This is a suite of tools where you have Power BI, Power Apps, and Power Automate, and all those things. And all this together make a very powerful stack. I think we can talk separately on that. Could be a separate session altogether.
Yep. Naveen Mallampati is posting a very good, interesting question. He's saying, can you include a mock interview session with folks who have understood the data analytics course? I think he's probably referring to our course, just to check if they are in a right way or not. Maybe we can do that. I think the question here is the student who has already completed our data analytics course, we do a mock interview with that person so that they get an idea if they understood things in a right way, and we can probably guide them. So yes, good news is we are going to come up with mock interviews. This is something I was not able to do because I was with Bloomberg and I was in the recruitment panel, and due to the company policy, I could not do mock interviews. But now I'm free, so I think we are coming up with mock interviews, which will help you with your interview preparation. Harsh Sharma is asking, Bhaiya data analyst mein scope to hai na? So this is Hindi question. The English translation is there a scope in data analyst? Harsh, yes, actually data analyst jobs are going to, I think, grow at an exponential rate in the coming time. Hemanand, you shared some report, right? Some company did an analysis where they are predicting the growth of data analyst job is going to be exponential in the coming years. And the reason is this. See, in Atlic, we deal with a lot of clients. Many clients are US-based clients. And we are seeing very less adoption of data analytics. And now we are seeing a trend where people have started adopting data analytics. They have started building their dashboards, building data engineering pipelines, ML, and all that. So when you talk about data industry, there are three things, right? Data analytics, data engineering, and machine learning. The adoption of these three things in next 5 years is gonna ramp up, is gonna exponentially increase. So the job opportunities are going to be amazing. I don't have any personal doubt in this.
Yeah. And there's a question from Prajwal. He's asking, so since you mentioned that only certifications on paper doesn't make sense, how to build, basically he's asking how to build a portfolio where people can notice my skills in order to get a job. Yeah, I think we discussed about it. You want to go for it?
Yeah, maybe we talked about it earlier, but the project that you put, make sure those are not usual, what Titanic data set or some silly analysis that you have done. The project should look real. It should have some content, some uniqueness into it. Correct? I'm getting 100 resumes and 90 resumes have similar kind of projects. I know this is a very common thing. But if you have some unique project where you have done some unique thing, that will help you stand out.
Yeah, more than unique, I would like to add saying the project should add some business value. For example, if you have done our sales insights dashboard, we have shown what business value you can add by doing the project. We have shown like how can you increase the profit of the company, how can you increase the sales of the company, or how can you find areas which are inefficient, how to optimize these areas. These are very common business problems. This can be used in any business. Take any business, any product business, any non-product business, online service business, Amazon. These problems are very common. So try to do this projects in which you can solve business problems rather by doing Titanic data set or something like that. It's fun, you understand data analysis, but you cannot prove to a hiring manager that you can add value to their business, to the role that you're taking on. So try to do those projects which can add business value. And when you're creating a portfolio, you can use LinkedIn or you can create your own website. There are a lot of means to do that. You can have a GitHub repository. Try to do anything and add the link to your portfolio in the resume, so the hiring manager can see that. In that way you can do that. And certifications, I would say, you can have some basic certification. It doesn't hurt to have certification. But what we meant is like certifications alone won't fetch you a job because everybody has certifications.
Yep. Also, folks, if you're not active on LinkedIn, I highly recommend you spend at least half an hour if you're searching for a job, or generally if you're serious about your career, spend half an hour on LinkedIn. I'll tell you the benefits of spending time on LinkedIn. See, what will happen is on LinkedIn, there are some influencers, and I will recommend their names here. I hope you can see my screen. So Daliana Lu, she's posting a lot of insightful posts on data science. She was a Amazon data scientist for many years. She's posting very practical tips which are going to be very beneficial in your career. So if you go to this feed, correct, and if you read all this post, you will learn a hell lot of things. The other influencer that you can follow is Jack Wilson. He posts a lot of things on data engineering. Okay. And if you look at his post here, let me just show you. He will give you a lot of practical advice if you are trying to build a career in data engineering. And if you want to learn about data analytics, there is a person you should follow. His name is Hemanand. He's posting a lot of insightful posts, and these are real experiences, folks. This is not like from book. Whatever I think Hemanand has posted here is based on his real experiences, experience dealing with real life problems. Correct. I am also posting a lot of content on my LinkedIn. So if you follow all these posts, you will daily learn one thing or other. See, let me show you some of my posts where we are talking about. I started this series. See, this series is on pandas memory optimization. Okay, where we are giving a lot of tips on how do you how do you save memory in pandas. Then we have some post on visualization. So these are like 15 principles of building effective dashboards. Then we have single tips on, for example, let's say this, right? See which chart is better. Now I'm asking this question. You need to think about it. You need to give the answer, and it's sort of like a quiz. And these exercises will build your real skills that will help you become successful. And we also have these tags. For example, code basics, data analytics tips. Okay. So if you click on this hashtag, using this hashtag, you can see all the useful tips that we have posted so far. Correct. And these, for example, why you should not start your dashboard with zero. Why you should start it with zero, right? So this is one of the scenarios which explains. These are like real tips, folks, and they will help you build a knowledge. So please become active on LinkedIn. What other people are doing, I have noticed recently, is there are people like Naveen, for example. He has been posting about his learning from our course, and not only that, he's kind of summarizing these things in a nice way. Correct. And then we comment on that post, we ask questions. This way you are increasing your visibility in the employment market, because a lot of these HR people who are looking for folks, they are on LinkedIn, so you need to become visible on LinkedIn. So instead of spending half an hour on Facebook or some time pass TikTok, or I think TikTok is okay. If you're in India, TikTok is banned, but
I think nobody's spending time on Facebook. Probably it's Instagram.
Okay, Facebook. Okay, then Instagram, or watching some random YouTube videos. Some time pass, some comedy. Like, don't waste your time. It's they say time is free but priceless. So make good use of that.
Okay, so this question is quite repeated from Deepak DVR. How to convert from cloud engineer to data scientist? I think we answered the question before. So for any domain that you want to switch to data science domain, always take the learnings that you have. There is always some domain knowledge that you use. Of course, for cloud engineer, you have a lot of, I think, cloud engineer, they do have a lot of knowledge on cloud computing and things like that, right? I think there's a lot of overlapping with data engineering and data science. They can easily find the tangible skills that they can use from that particular domain.
Yes.
And get it here.
Deepak, I'll say, if you're using, if you're a cloud engineer, you are using, I think, Azure, Microsoft ecosystem, Azure, or you're using AWS, right? So Azure and AWS, they have their own indigenous data analytics platforms and portals. You can become, for example, Azure cloud data analyst, who has expertise in that Microsoft ecosystem, which will be Power BI service, and they have many other tools. So in your domain, which could be Azure or AWS or Google, just try to learn the tools which are needed for data analytics. Okay. And then the data that you get in your day-to-day life job, try to practice data analytics by building simple dashboard and then learning Python and so on. The same tips that we shared before applies to you as well.
Yeah, I think if you're closing now, I think there are two questions which we can answer before we close. There is one question it's from Shikar. He's asking, is it tough for freshers to become a data analyst? And I think Ritik also posted a similar question. Freshers are getting very less opportunities. If an experienced person is getting a job as a data analyst, that experienced person must have been a fresher at some point, right? And the job roles are only increasing. It's not reducing, folks. Come on. Like a lot of companies, they started realizing they have a lot of data. They want to unearth those data and get insights from this data. So there are more openings, and in short term, there might be a mismatch between the skill and the requirement. I understand that, and if you think about this in 1 or 2 years of time, I don't think that will be the case. Freshers should find it easier to get a job as a data analyst than it is now. That's something I can definitely see the trend coming up. And one more question: if someone hates coding, it's as well as when someone hates coding, can he become a data analyst? Yes, I'm an example for that. I hate coding. I never loved coding, and you can become one. Yes, that's possible. I love solving a problem, and I copy codes from internet. That's what I do, and that works. That works for me and a lot of people.
All right, folks. We are at about 1 hour now, and I know many people have asked questions. We could not respond because of the high volume, but we'll be scheduling these sessions in the future as well. So don't worry if your question is not answered. We are also going to be scheduling closed Zoom sessions for career guidance. If you want to interact with us on Zoom, where you can talk face to face in a group setting, there is a spreadsheet I have created, Google form I have created, which I have posted in our Discord server. So in our Discord server, go to our Discord server. Let me share with you once again. So go to our Discord server, and our Discord server link you can get in all my videos. Check video description. I have given a link of my Discord server, right? So Discord server is more like a Slack where you can ask questions, and we have different channels. So we have 2 channels called Career Guidance and Career Transition. Okay. And in Career Guidance, I have posted this code basic career guidance. This is Career Transition, Career Guidance, anything. Here, fill out this Google form. We are asking you for basic information. And yes, and you fill out it. And then based on the volume, based on availability, we will be scheduling those Zoom sessions as well in the future. All right. I hope you all the best, and we'll see you in the next session. Thank you very much for attending this.
Thank you all for joining. Thank you for having me.